Hawks lose 4-1 to the Minnesota Wild. 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row losing 4-1. Yet another performance by the Blackhawks not having offensive performance going for them. And again, losing to a top-notch goalie, this time to Marc-Andre Fleury, former Blackhawk himself. This was another poor effort. The Hawks just had a hard time getting into the offensive zone, generating some chances, and putting up the shots on net. In the first period, for the first minute, like first 5 minutes, they were the better team. But then they dropped a goal early, and it was downhill from there. The Hawks just continued to show that they cannot score or put any true defense out on the ice. Louis Crevier making his NHL debut today. He played well for himself. He wasn't that noticeable, but for being a rookie defenseman making an NHL debut, that's usually a good thing to not be noticeable out on the ice. The 2 defensemen that were noticeable, and for a bad reason, Connor Murphy and Jared Tenorti, looking like they were not having a good game today. This was a bad game. The Hawks can't do anything to score. They can't do anything to stop a puck. It's just bad. Mrazek played great today. He just got hung out to dry again. So, goals for the game. In the first period, it was all Minnesota. 2 minutes and 11 seconds into the first period for his first of the game, Marco Rossi scores his 7th of the season, assisted by um, Faber, Faber and Zuccarello to make it 1-0 Minnesota early by uh, to just make it quick. Then the Hawks get a power play. They were generating shots. They had 7 shots on the power play, and that was it. They couldn't get it in the net, and then Minnesota gets control. They get a power play of their own midway through the period at 12:08 in the first period. Marco Rossi with his 2nd of the game, 8th of the season, assisted by Frederick Gaudreau and Faber to make it 2-0 Minnesota. So the Hawks are already down by 2 midway through the first period. Then they continue to go down because at 17:07 in the first period, Matt Zuccarello scores his 6th of the season, assisted by Kaprizov and Goligoski to make it 3-0 Minnesota. That was a terrible effort in that first period of play. The Hawks PK gave up another power play goal against, and it's not the only one they do in this game. Power play for the Hawks, they generated, just couldn't get it in the net. We go to the second period, down by 3. And, well, Hawks gave up another power play goal midway through a period. And, well, at 11:36 in the second period, Matt Boldy tips in the puck with his 3rd of the season, assisted by Zuccarello and Spurgeon to make it 4-0 Minnesota. Midway through the game, Hawks down by 4. No way in hell the Hawks are coming back because this team cannot score any goals. They have a hard time scoring already. They have a hard time playing defense as is. This is not a team that's going to truly come back and go up against a team who's desperate right now because they just fired their coach 3 days ago. On Monday, I should say, actually. And, well, everything has gone downhill. The Hawks are losing. They're not playing well. They're going down quick. They're not scoring. They don't have offense. They don't have defense. They don't have much going for themselves. The power play is horrendous. And, well, we go to the third period. Hawks down by 4, but they do get on the board. At 12:55 in the third period, on a power play, the Hawks score. Yes, the Hawks scored a power play effing goal. That hasn't happened for this freaking team because they don't do that. For his 4th of the season, Taylor Radish redirects the puck in on the doorstep, assisted by Tyler Johnson and Connor Bedard to make it a 4-1 game off the power play at 12:55 remaining in regulation time. Hawks on the board. It's too late. They are not going to score anymore. They lose this thing 4-1. More stats per the game. The Hawks won at the faceoff dot. 54% of the draws went in favor for the Hawks at going 29 for 54 at the dot tonight. Shots this game 29-34 for Minnesota. Hawks power play 1 for 3. Minnesota went 2 for 3. Hits 22 for the Hawks, 19 for Minnesota. Block shots 18-8 in favor for Chicago. Shows we're in the defensive zone way too much. Mrazek honestly played well. He got hung out to dry. Jared Tenorti, Connor Murphy looked bad out there today. This was a bad game. It was. And shots per period 11-15 for Minnesota in the first, 6-11 for Minnesota in the second, 12-8 in favor for the Blackhawks in the third. Total shots, of course, is 29-30 for Minnesota. I get it. We now drop to 32nd out of 32 teams in the NHL. We're worse than San Jose, who plays later today. This has been a bad run for this team. They're not playing. They're not scoring. They're not doing much PK wise. They're not doing anything on the power play. Granted, they scored on a power play today, but doesn't do much because they can't score. Connor Bedard continues his road point streak to 9 after this game, and now we head back home for the longest homestand of the season. So it's time for the Hawks to get their game going. Lucas Reichel, of course, was out of the lineup today for being healthy scratch, which is well deserved. He has not been producing for this team. He's been virtually a non-factor for the Blackhawks all season. He needed to be benched. So he got healthy scratch, and hopefully next game he comes back in with a fire under his butt to start doing something. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, how about score more than one for once?